How about one more round of applause for the 2018-19 Concert Orchestra? Nice work. A lot of notes in that last one. Thanks again for coming out tonight. And we'll transition to String Sinfonia next. We've got an exciting program this evening for you. Lots of a couple of senior solos. We have some really large work, an awards presentation, and I'm going to keep it moving along as best as I possibly can. Sometimes the awards get a little lengthy. Next up is going to be String Sinfonia. I know you guys always get to hear the finished product, but the first day that we had that piece, I think they all thought I was insane. The music that we play, just as a generalization, has a grade level system, grade 1 and 0.5 being the easiest, all the way up until the last thing they really label is grade 5. So typically over the years, if you've been coming to these shows, the String Sinfonia group will play a 2.5 really well. Like that's something we would take to state contest. Maybe a 3.5 at times. And then on a normal basis, we'll play 3s and 3.5. That last one was a 4.5. So it was a very, very, very difficult piece of music they've been working on for months. It takes a lot of stamina to get through things like that. And really, really, really proud of the effort that String Sinfonia just put into that piece. And one more round of applause for that, please. Next up, we have 2 of our honor quartets that are going to perform for you. Those of you that have been to MOA meetings, or if you've seen my emails about fundraising, this is where some of our fundraising goes, a pretty small portion at that. But this is one of the avenues that you'll see tonight that is where our fundraising money is being spent. So, is Mr. Singler here yet? Show yourself. I know he has a concert in Columbus, and he's desperately trying to make it because he is the coach of this quartet, also the next quartet that you'll see, and then he's also our cello private lesson teacher for a pretty large majority of our orchestra program. And one of his students, Anna Davis, is one of our senior soloists tonight. So we will transition to Cardinal Quartet 2. They're going to be playing some Shostakovich for you. As we sort of set the stage here for our next two events, we're going to bring out Andrea Thacker in just a second to play Mozart's Flute Concerto. Very excited about this. If you're new to the May concert, these next two performances are our concerto competition winners. So each year I bring in some judges, and the students have worked on these pieces for a very long time. So right now, if you're sitting in the audience thinking, gosh, I'd really like my student to be up there playing that solo when they're a senior. Well, this year was one of the only years that I felt like out of the entire contestant pool for this competition that any one of these students that we heard that day, they were so ready to play, and that's sometimes not always the case, and this year was very, very, very difficult to pick, and we were only able to narrow it down to two. So we'll hear Andrea in just a second, but the last group that just played, the Mannheim Chamber Orchestra, and also the Symphony Orchestra, which you'll hear a little bit later. I don't want to forget to mention, in case you didn't see my bunch of emails on the topic, or also when Twitter blew up in February, but the Mannheim Chamber Orchestra and also the Symphony Orchestra this year were both entered into Class AA for the first time at OMEA State Orchestra Contest, and we also received the first ever superior ratings in those categories. So how about another quick round of applause for Mannheim Chamber Orchestra? Excellent work. It is such a pleasure to work with students of this level of talent, and I think you agree with me that those last two performances are much beyond even an expert high school level student, and I just can't say enough about those two performers. One more round of applause for Andrea and Anna, please. point. There's Mrs. Sniper. A couple of awards before the awards. Oh, we can clap for Mrs. Sniper, that's great.
As well. Hi everyone. What a wonderful concert. You guys sound great tonight. Thank you. Caitlin Stewart, would you help us with this as your concert master? We're going to start tonight by drawing off the winner of the violin, the mosaic violin by Lisa Rushman. We're going to shake up the box really well. And draw a winner. Oh, goodness gracious. Zoraida Sperry. Is she here? She? Wait a minute. Awesome. Thank you. I want to give a special thank you to Lisa Rushman. Her gallery is in the old Matchworks building. Her works are amazing. Her business cards are out on the counter. She donated that piece of art to our orchestra for our fundraiser. So thank you and congratulations. We'll pack it up for you after the show. Now I need my notes because I have a lot to say. Next, we want to give out our scholarships. We're very happy to present 2 $500 scholarships to 2 very deserving seniors. We had a lot of wonderful applicants this year, so I'm sure it was difficult, but it's all points-based, and these 2 applicants came out on top. Do you want to read their excerpts before we announce? Amy's going to share a little bit of their essay with you.
Alright, so as part of the scholarship application, the students were required to write an essay about their experiences with Mentor Orchestra. So our first scholarship winner had this to say about orchestra. In orchestra, every single person matters. Everyone must work hard and with unity to make their sound contribute to the music. There is quite a bond that forms from the absolute rush of playing something together really well. And I think we should. So the winner of our first scholarship is Anna Davis.
Congratulations, Anna. Anna's going to be going to Kent State to major in fashion merchandising and fashion media, which is not a surprise because she always looks very smart in her outfits. All right, our second winner.
And then for our second scholarship winner, had this to say about their experiences with Mentor Orchestra. When words fail and emotions become overwhelming, music provides an explanation. A simple collection of music notes can transform life's hardships into something beautiful. And the winner of our second scholarship is Caitlin Stewart.
And Caitlin's going to OSU to major in public health. Congratulations to both of you. All right, at our final concert every year, we'd like to introduce the new board for the following school year and also to celebrate the outgoing board members. I'll start with the new board. Our new board next year will be Amy Freeman. She will be the president. Our vice president will be Aaron and Jennifer Roberts, who are by the door. Our treasurer will be Bitsy Murray. Yay, Bitsy, wherever you are. I just wanted to make sure the secretary was aware. Our new secretary is Patty Yoke. There are two graduating board members. I am stepping down after 9 years of being with this group. 9 years ago, I told my son he couldn't play the flute, so he chose the violin. I guess I could have gone either way, based on Andrea's solo. And luckily, my younger son joined orchestra for the past couple years. Charlie, I didn't know he played percussion. Oh my goodness. All right. I forgot, I lost my place. Our secretary this year is graduating, Anna Davis's father, Randy Davis. Can you come up here, Randy Davis? Randy has been, as well as his wife, Mary Jo, probably the most ultimate volunteer we've ever had. He was the secretary this year, but from his daily emails of reminding me or reminding Mr. Yoke every morning at 5 a.m. when he got to work what we needed to do. And he's always eager with, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? We couldn't have done it without you, so thank you. I just say something from myself, something for Randy to thank him, and something for Amy to thank her for helping me all these years. Thank you.
Okay, I have a few awards to give out. Typical ones from each year. We start with lettering, and for those of you that are new to the program, or certainly on the younger side, you can letter an orchestra. Some students are about to do that for the first time. You letter by accruing points throughout various ensembles, auditions that you take, private lessons that you attend, anything outside of the normal school orchestra day that you do with your instrument in terms of the orchestra side of things counts. And then I have the awesome privilege of tallying up all the points and figuring out who has lettered and who has not. So, sorry, this is slow. So the following people have earned their first year letter. If you could just stand where you are. We have a situation with Neff. I'm sure those of you that are athletes, I was told that they're a little backed up as well. So for tonight, stand where you are, even if you're out in the audience, because we do have some String Symphonia members lettering here tonight for the first time. We'll start with Caitlin Spiesman, Shelby Harrison, Grace Dakwar, you can all stand, Sammy McMillan, Nina Patty, Ashley Savetican, Emma Stafford, Maura Murray, Jeffrey Smick, Alex Summers, he wins, Josh Estock, keeping it rolling, Allison Miller, Nora Elena Shields, Angelina Ferry, Jordan Fiedler is out here somewhere in the audience. Isabel Kazenko. Vincent Miranda. Dylan Armeo. And Ethan Eskins. These are our first year lettermen. Thank you. So I'm sure you just noticed that there was a variety of age groups that just stood up. To letter as a freshman is really, really, really tough. You basically have to be in 3 ensembles, lessons, and you had to have done a couple other things to get over that barrier. So you'll see as we climb the ladder here, those numbers drop off dramatically, because it is very hard to do each and every year, which is why tonight we only have 2 4-year lettermen. The second year letter, these are students that at some point had accrued enough points to get a second letter, and then throughout the rest of their high school career, they accrued what would be the amount of points to receive a second letter. Second year orchestra letter award winners are Amanda Miles. Come on over, we have a plaque for you. Yay, Amanda Miles. Elizabeth Stevenson. Grace Eichler, Brianna Wildrock, Mary Schneider, Tiffany Schneider, And Sarah, let's line up. Congratulations to our second-year letterman. And rolling right along, we have, again, third-year letter award, means they've accrued enough points to letter 3 times. Doesn't have to be, again, in the same school year, but still, the third-year letter is very, very, very difficult to achieve, even over the course of 4 years. Even if you were in Symphony Mannheim your first year, it's still very, very difficult. We have 2 this evening. Third-year letter award winners are Caitlin Stewart and Mackenzie Bumbarger. In case you missed that, that was Caitlin Stewart very excited that it's a trophy. Yay, Caitlin. And finally, 4 years in a row, accruing enough points to letter in orchestra. Very, very difficult thing. Again, you saw the list of first-year letter award winners. So at the end of all 4 years, the 2 students that have accrued enough points to do this every single year are Amanda Blatz and Anna Davis. Next, I just have a few awards that they're residual awards. I give them out every year. They sit in the trophy case outside of the main office. If you try to think about where would there be a trophy case that is the least seen, it's this one. So if you go right outside the main office, right on the inside nook there before the M wing, you'll see a long trophy case. And the biggest one in there is mine. I'm sorry. No, that's where all the orchestra and the band and choral awards are typically kept. So I have a few of those to give out. First, we'll start with the junior class. This gets, I say this every year, but it really truly does get extremely difficult to hand these out. I could have picked any junior. This is such an amazing class. I mean, you can imagine all of these people on stage, so focused to learn and drive ourselves, not just a contest, but for a regular performance like tonight. As soon as my hands stop, it's amazing. I wish all of you could see it. The sound stops immediately. It's just such a well-rehearsed group. I can't say enough about them. But we do have 2 junior students up here this evening that deserve a little bit of extra recognition. First, the Junior Class Leadership Award winner goes to a student that her and I have had conversations before rehearsal, after rehearsal. This is a student that is constantly conscientious about what's going on in the group, how can we fix things, what did you think of this, here's an idea that I had, so on and so forth. Many conversations, outstanding leader. The Junior Class Leadership Award this year goes to Mackenzie Bumbarger.
Mackenzie, bear with us. We're looking for your plaque. I also want to say Mackenzie, throughout every year I've been in orchestra, without doubt is our top fundraiser in every fundraiser we do. So thank you, Mackenzie.
Next, we have another junior award, similar set of attributes for this student. The Junior Aryan Award winner this year is also from the viola section, just outstanding violists all around the program. And this year's Junior Aryan Award winner goes to Sarah Rosen. Next, we're going to, not scale it back, but we're going to talk about freshmen for a second. This is a very hard group to be a part of as a freshman. Mannheim and Symphony, I'm asking a lot of them. First of all, just the social aspect of walking into a class where there are students that have been working maybe their whole high school career to gain admittance to this ensemble, and for a freshman to walk in and immediately contribute is not rare, but this particular student has gone a little above and beyond. And I won't dance around how I come to this conclusion. I've said it before and I'll say it again, that I just look at which freshman is in the most amount of groups, and across the year, performance assessment-wise, who has also the highest composite score of those tests. So most music that we got out of this particular student, and the highest class average for freshmen this year is also a violist, Ashley Savetikin. Can you make your way over to the class for you? While Ashley's walking over, I'll take the spotlight off of her by saying, this is my fault, and that is, that could be me too. But the reason this is a little awkward this evening is normally we're pushed back a lot further on the stage, but I think I mentioned in December that another avenue of our fundraising money goes towards our weekly sectional coaches. And one of the things that has been great about this year is that once a month, 1 out of every 4 of those sectional rehearsals, the students don't go to sectionals, and we perform for the coaches, and they give us some feedback and some things of that nature. And one of their suggestions was to move to the front of the stage, and they were totally right. I can't believe I missed this for so many years. We sound way better out here, so we'll deal with a little bit of the awkwardness so that we sound great. Moving along is our Mentor Orchestra Service Award. I simply could not pick one student. There, again, were so many deserving students up here this evening. But the first student, we'll do this individually, the first student that I'll mention for the Orchestra Service Award this year has pretty much over the last year and a half, she's always been around the M-Wing. She's one of the M-Wing dwellers, as I call them. She's helped shape the library, the music library. She puts all this music away. A lot of the jobs that I really just do not want to do, I will dump onto this particular student, and she smiles and takes them and handles them just really, really beautifully. The first winner of the Mentor Orchestra Service Award this year is Jessie Cola. And to follow that up, I'm sure that if you just took a lap around the school, or if you knew anything about what goes on in this building, there's one name up here that kind of just does it all. And when I thought about service, I don't know how in the world we talk about a service award without this particular student being mentioned. She does everything. I'm sure that at some point in my life I'll be voting for her, and maybe even she'll be my boss. If she wants to be, I'm sure she could get it. But I really cannot say enough. I said the other day at the end of our last Mannheim rehearsal, as we were getting kind of emotional, that I really don't know how Amanda Blatz fits all this in. I have no idea how she still is practicing viola with all the things that she does in the community and around this school. And so our second Mentor Orchestra Service Award winner is Amanda Blatz. Okay, next up we have our Mentor Orchestra Outstanding Wind or Percussion Player. Obviously this is going to come from what you know as the band side of things, but we've enjoyed combining them over the last couple of years, and I know I've talked at great lengths about how when I first started here, it was kind of hard to get some of the wind players to come over and join this group, and now we have students asking about how do I get into this group. All the way back in October I was answering questions, and first, what is your name? I don't the randomness of some of the students coming up is always very funny to me, but I love that this is becoming an elite ensemble to where there are spots being fought for. And this particular student joined us last year, and it's one of those moments where, not that other players weren't as good, but when the air was put through the clarinet the first time for me, it's just a connection. That's a tone quality and that's a level of musicianship that's very, very, very rare. I'm so happy that she was able to work in this class in her schedule. The Mentor Orchestra Outstanding Wind player this year is Alex Summers. Yet again, as I look at number 6 here, the Mentor Orchestra Outstanding String Player Award, you all won it. Congratulations. If I had 55 plaques, I would hand them out. However, I really, as I was forced to pick a student, I'm looking around the section and who's graduating, and I'm start to panic. Tomorrow is the day that I sit down at my desk and I just think about how great the show was the night before, and then a little bit of panic sets in about, oh my gosh, now we have to do that again with all those seniors that are going to be gone. And then everybody rises up to the challenge, and we do really well every year. This student has had solos you've heard all throughout the year. Just the rock of a section. The other night at Mannheim, I had mentioned that in terms of intonation, this student rarely makes a mistake. Once she knows the part, it is very clean and just very crisply played. We have a history. I've known this student since she was a 7th grader, and it's been really, it's been an honor to watch this bubbly personality turn into the mature person that she is today. And the Mentor Orchestra Outstanding String Player Award is going to Caitlin Stewart. Oh boy, gets tougher. Next up is the Mentor Orchestra Directors Award. And again, this is going to one of the students tonight that has just gone so far above and beyond what's been asked of her in terms of performance, leadership, accountability. I got another student that, even though wasn't a shore student back when I only had that building, I knew this student. This is somebody that's been around for a very, very long time and just contributes at such a high level. We're going to miss her greatly. My Mentor Orchestra Directors Award this year is going to Anna Davis. And last but not least, for the student awards this evening, is the National School Orchestra Award. I think about this award every single year as who has been the top performer, or an argument for the top performer. We're okay. And again, there were lots of students that were more than deserving of this award, but one definitely did stand out. The sort of behind-the-scenes specialness of this award is that this is a national award. I do order it from a company that is nationally recognized for giving this out. And they ask that we give it to at least one of the top performers of the year. And it's no doubt she had a solo this evening. For the first time in my tenure as an orchestra director, I'm going to give the National School Orchestra Award to a wind player. And that student this year is Andrea Thacker. To the senior class of 2019, I have appreciated everything that you've done beyond what I could ever say right now on the stage. It's really a sad moment to see you go. it's hard to watch and listen to some of the sounds that you're about to hear leave this stage for the final time. It can definitely be an emotional moment. So we have a gift for every senior. So when I call your name, if you would, come on over and grab your Mentor Orchestra gift, please. We'll go in alphabetical order here. Grayson Allen. Amanda Blatz. Amanda Blevins, come out in the audience. Nolan Clinton. Jesse Cola. Josh Estock. Suzanne Ferguson. Jordan Fiedler. Katie Green. Shelby Harrison. Seth Nixon. Logan Katosh. Sierra Malmo. Jillian Morris. Charlie Michael. Marlo Koshiro. Deanna Riley. Gabe Rodriguez. Jensen Rowan. Caitlin Stewart. Caitlin Spicer. Alex Summers. And Kylie Sykes. And if we could just have all seniors one last time, please stand up and let's get a round of applause. One last time for our 2019 senior class. And now as we get ready to finish the show with March Slav, there was something mentioned earlier that I'm sure in terms of emotion, her and I are going to tie this together personally at a later date, but there is zero chance that I can let the program go any further without acknowledging that. I mean, this is the end of year 6 for me, and only two women have helped lead the Mentor Orchestra Association, which I believe as we go forward is going to be really, really rare to have such a strong leadership around from such an early time period all the way through their students' progression. But I can't say enough about everything that you've done. From the moment I took this job, I found out right away that I had great leadership coming to me in Mrs. Luann Clark, who I'm sure we all remember, who's probably here. Round of applause for Luann. Where's Luann? Luann did such a fantastic job helping me get settled into this job. It's a much different job than my previous teaching experience. And then that transitioned into the leadership of Ann Nichol, and I cannot say enough about the friendship that we've had, the problems that she's solved for me. There are times where I'm just juggling so many things. I'll call Ann and I'll say, can you do this? And she's never said no. She always thinks of things 5 steps before me, and I really just cannot be more appreciative of what we have had over the last 9 years in the Mentor Orchestra Association from Ann Nichol. Ann, thank you so much. We have a gift from MOA for you, and you can have the pen. We can give her the pen. But a round of applause for Mrs. Nichol. Tonight's her last night as MOA president. Thank you. Slav. I don't know, they're all standing here.
So par tradition, the senior class we're leaving. Some of us had Mr. Yoke now for 6 years, which is crazy. You don't most of the time have a teacher for more than 1 year, so we've known him for a really long time. And in that time, I think we can all agree and all tell you the willingness that he puts in and the hours, but just like the individual amount of care that he has for each student, it's really just, you don't see it a lot in teachers, and we just all want you to know we really appreciate it, and we're all really going to miss orchestra, so thank you so much. So for your gifts this year, we got you because we were the first grade to get class AA ranking. We got you a coffee mug, so you can always remember that. But then we also got you a pencil pouch because Anna Davis is leaving, and Anna Davis has provided Mr. Yoke with pencils for the past 2, maybe 3 years. So Mr. Yoke will have pencils now. And then we also got him a shirt because Mr. Yoke thinks he's very funny. So his shirt says the conductor's jokes are always funny. So remember to always laugh. So thank you from the class of 2019, Mr. Yoke.
The conductor's jokes are always funny. Sure. I believe you. I have, though. I've designated whoever is sitting on the first hand of the cello section. Just because I'm right-handed, I like to, if I need a pencil, I just reach right out of the folder and grab it. So thank you for doing that. And we'll see who's coming up next for next year. You get to be the pencil pouch carrier. Perfect. Now I'll have pencils. We're going to end this evening with Tchaikovsky's very famous piece of music called March Slav. This one was a gift to the students on the stage. Sort of like, actually exactly like the gift to String Sinfonia of the hard work that they put in for the Tchaikovsky's, the finale to the Tchaikovsky's 5th Symphony that we played earlier this evening. This was a gift to the group. They deserved a piece of music of this level, and I just was thinking about how to end the year, and AA, straight ones and AA this year in the highest class. We're going to end with something world famous, Tchaikovsky's March Slav. Thank you again, and this evening is a Dairy Queen fundraiser, so after the show we will see you there. Thank you very much. Thank you.